Welcome to the podcast, everybody. As always, there's a couple things we want you to do. First, go to Facebook, like and share the Facebook page. Second, go to Twitter. Follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is
@ComesNaturalPod.
Then go to iTunes. Rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. Go to start this motherfucker off proper.
Comes naturally. We are
Joe.
Mike.
I am Cody. Welcome to this week's show. We're going to start off proper with Mike's Wrestling Minutes.
Yeah.
Mike, you got a good one for us today?
Yeah.
Go.
All right.
No,
today,
Go
I'm
now.
going to be talking about the man who is literally taking the world of wrestling by storm. His name is James Ellsworth. He is a little dude, and not like legally a little dude, like just a normal,
Like
weird
in
looking.
in the world of wrestling, he is a normal guy.
Yeah. So if anybody listens to this has watched WWE in the past couple months, there's a good chance that you've seen this dude.
Wait. That dude's in WWE?
Yeah, I'll explain to you why. So this is what happened. There's this gentleman by the name of Braun Strowman that's in the WWE. This dude is one of those monster big guys, like 6'8", 6'9", like gotta be close.
Too
to the
tall to be
floor.
loved?
Yeah, gotta be close to the 400 pounds. Just a fucking massive. He looks like who's the nerd, the guy from Nerds, who was also in Bloodsport. That guy.
Ogre?
Yeah. He looks like Ogre, but bigger.
Damn.
Yeah. So they're kind of repackaging him, and in the world of wrestling, when you want to repackage a big giant dude, you basically do what's called squash matches with them. So while he's, working on his craft on the house shows and training and stuff, when he's on TV, they just throw these little dudes at him. And a lot of times, so they don't bury, WWE's own talent, they get local indie wrestlers from the area. They'll come in, they get a good paycheck, and they get their ass whooped by Braun Strowman. So for some reason, this guy, James Ellsworth, who every time WWE rolls into that town, he always kind of shows up because he is an indie wrestler. He's a 14-year vet. He runs his own promotion in the Baltimore area.
Wow.
Like he makes a living off of pro wrestling.
Wow.
By hook or by crook. Like he hustles his own, his own shows. He goes, he tours a little bit with them. So he's in the world of professional wrestling. He is an actual professional wrestler. But if you looked at him, and I showed you guys a picture of him, he's never going to be a WWE superstar. Like there's no way it's going to happen. So basically, he's at Raw waiting to be an extra. Somebody grabs him to like, hey, can you take a bump? And they're like, yeah, so a bump is just when a wrestler falls, Basically they want to know if they throw him on TV, he can not die, basically. So he's like, yeah, and they do like a little tiny mini match before the show starts, and they're like, oh yeah, he can take a punch, he can throw a punch, he's fine. He's like, all right, you're gonna fight Strowman tonight in a squash. He's all like, this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna throw 2 punches, then he's gonna punch you in the face, and then he's gonna pick you up and slam you down and pin you. He's like, all right. And so like later on they go, hey, can you talk? And like in the world of wrestling, it means, can you cut a promo? Like, are you gonna freeze up if we throw a microphone in your face? He's like, yeah, I could talk. So they're like, all right, you got a quick promo before the match too, which is ridiculous because I've been watching wrestling for a long time. I can't remember the last time I seen a jobber get a quick little promo before his match. So they're in there and they cut to this guy. Strowman's walking down and he's doing his monster walk, taking his time. So they're interviewing Ellsworth in the ring while he's walking down. And they're basically like, the crowd's already kind of laughing at him when they see him just because he has that look that, oh God, this is hilarious. And he says, the guy asks him, like, what makes you think you can even like survive this match? He's all like, he says, any man with 2 hands has a fighting chance. And for some reason, that trends on Twitter for like the next 48 hours because of all the wrestling fans, and the crowd just kind of loved him. Like, and the match went exactly how it was supposed to. He got 2 punches in, got punched in the face, got slammed, got pinned. So the next week, and Ellsworth is told the story. So he's like, all right, cool. That was fantastic. His Twitter fucking followers jumped way up, and he's like, cool. I got to be on Raw, which is every wrestler's dream.
Yeah.
So the next week they have another jobber come out, right? And same kind of thing, smaller dude, looked a little more athletic, but the crowd started booing the jobber, and there's a Ellsworth chant.
Oh.
Because they liked the guy that got beat up last week better. So fast forward a couple months on SmackDown, the champion, or not the champion at the time, but a guy named AJ Styles, he needs a tag team partner. And he's basically a bad guy in the world of wrestling, so nobody wants to team with him. So the GM of SmackDown's like, hey, we found a partner for you. And it's James Ellsworth standing there. And so AJ Styles gets pissed. So you think it's going to be AJ Styles and James Ellsworth versus whoever the two good guys were. So Ellsworth coming down to the ring. He's all excited. He's going to have a SmackDown match where he gets attacked from behind by The Miz. And The Miz takes his spot in the match. So we're like, cool, James Ellsworth got more TV time. And his name's twinning on Twitter again. And he's Twitter follower count goes way, way up. So fast forward to Tuesday SmackDown. This Tuesday SmackDown. He somehow... There's a match. AJ Styles is now the big champion, the world champ, and Dean Ambrose, the guy AJ beat for the title. They're going back and forth, right? So they say there's gonna be a match. AJ Styles says, "Oh, but you're not wrestling me. You're gonna be wrestling this guy," and he brings out James Ellsworth. So and there's a a whole promo thing going on about it. And then, so the GM of SmackDown is like, no, that's not what's going to happen. AJ Styles is going to wrestle James Ellsworth, and Dean Ambrose is going to be the special guest referee.
Oh.
So you're like, oh, this should be fun. At least Ellsworth gets a little shine in this match, might, land some stuff. So basically, AJ Styles is beating the fuck out of James Ellsworth. But every time he goes to cover, of course, special referee doesn't like AJ Styles. He starts looking out into the crowd, doesn't cover. Ellsworth is tapping out in the submission hold. And he, walks out and goes grabs popcorn and shit. And so basically letting Ellsworth get his ass whooped, but he hasn't lost yet.
Yeah.
So at some point, AJ Styles gets mad at Dean Ambrose, pushes him. Ambrose kicks him in the stomach, hits him with his finisher, which he calls the Dirty Deeds. And he's laying there, and he looks, and he sees James Ellsworth. So he grabs James Ellsworth, puts him on top of AJ Styles. Fast 3 count. James Ellsworth, journeyman wrestler, never ever would have made it in the WWE, officially beats the world heavyweight champion on SmackDown in his first ever WWE SmackDown match. And because of that, the legend of James Ellsworth does not die. Now, because he beat the champion, next week he gets a title shot on SmackDown.
Oh, that's awesome.
So this dude who literally 4 weeks ago, the hardest core wrestling fan, had never known him outside of the city of Baltimore, because that's where he runs his promotion. And so now, because this is one of the few good things about social media, because he blew up on social media just because he looked goofy and he said that dumb catchphrase that every man with 2 hands has a fighting chance, which there's t-shirts you can buy now of.
Of course.
When did yours come in?
Yeah.
Next week. But I just thought that was a fun story because he's yet to land any actually wrestling moves, but he beat the champion and he has a title shot next week. So
it's a good, heartwarming story.
The legend of James Ellsworth continues. I kind of hope somehow, some way down the road, he just hangs around and just shows up every couple months, gets his ass whooped, but crowd laughs and he gets a bigger paycheck and his Twitter followers keep going up. So
I had this weird thought in my head, they're doing some sort of battle royale for the belt. He's not in it, but as the last few guys are knocking each other around, he just runs in, up,
throws the last guy over. Yeah. That'd be fantastic. I almost feel as with how popular he's become, you have to at least fake he's about to win a championship with somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, that's Mike's Wrestling Minutes.
That's pretty cool.
Mike's Wrestling Minutes.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Mike this week.
Yep.
Boom. All right, right into it. We're going to get into our theme for the month. Mystery horror movie talk.
Boom.
Mike didn't do it, so he's not going to be able to talk about one. Because he didn't think he was going to be here.
Nope, I did not think that.
Suck it. Always be prepared with the movie.
I did watch a good chunk of the first season of Mad About You.
Not good
That
enough.
doesn't count.
That doesn't count.
Because it's not even a horrible show, so I can't make a
Right.
horrible...
It's a great show.
Oh,
It's great.
It's good.
When's the last time you watched it?
I don't know, like 2000.
2000? Yeah, is it
maybe.
about there?
Yeah, that's about 2000. Yeah.
Watch it now. It's fantastic.
When did it air? What that was
92 to 98, right?
Something like
92
that, yeah.
to 99, somewhere in there.
Man, that was a long run for a
Yeah.
show.
And then they both went on to make movies.
Yep.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Horizon made like one.
He was in
She made a
Aliens.
few.
He was in Aliens.
It was before that, though.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was also in Beverly Hills Cop.
That's true.
Before that as well.
Yeah, well,
He was in also Beverly
was
Hills Cop 2.
he was a stand-up, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Isn't that how he started his
Yeah.
thing?
Yes, sir. Not our subject, though.
Yeah.
You're derailing us because you don't have a movie to talk about. So,
Giggles,
again,
giggles,
if this is your first time listening to this, the whole idea is Joseph and I picked a movie. We haven't told the other what the movie is.
Nope.
And we were now going to reveal what the movie is and then talk about said movie.
Yep.
And it has to be a horror type movie. So it can be horror, fantasy, monster, slasher, gore fest, whatever you want to call them.
Not Gorefest.
I mean, for you, not gore fest.
Not Gorefest for me.
Because you're a pussy.
For you, maybe.
I want to watch Raw. That's all I'm saying. Not wrestling. Raw.
Not
but
wrestling,
That
Raw.
fucking crazy ass French movie. Anyways, Joseph, what is your movie, sir?
My movie for this week is The Babadook.
Oh, I watched that one.
Of course you did. How long ago was it that you watched it?
Boo.
Like, I saw it before it was in theaters, and then I saw it a couple months ago.
When did it hit theaters?
2014.
Yeah, because it was a 2014 movie.
Yeah, it was like it was odd. It was like August or some weird month in like 2014. Like not like because God forbid you release them in October when people want to watch
a
them.
horror movie in October.
Yeah, I want to say, was it early in 14? I should
Well,
probably
it
look
says
up.
in theaters in November 28th, 2014, limited release.
Okay. Oh, so I might have watched the beginning of 2015 then.
Yeah, on DVD was 2015.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised just because reading a little bit more of the background of the movie before we started here. I believe it was filmed in Australia.
Yeah.
Wasn't very well received in Australia. It was in limited theaters. Then it went to Indie Film Festival, the IFC, and it kind of blew up there. Got some showage here in the States, so that's why I was kind of surprised when you said 2014 in theaters.
How do you spell that? I'm trying to look it up.
Babadook.
Got it.
The
Cool.
Babadook. So I'll read the quick little synopsis here from IMDb. Is that the website I'm on? Nope, Rotten Tomatoes is the website I'm on. So 6 years after the violent death of her husband, Amelia is at a loss. She struggles to discipline her out-of-control 6-year-old Samuel, a son she finds impossible to love. Samuel's dreams are plagued by a monster he believes is coming to kill them both. When a disturbing storybook called The Babadook turns up in their house, Samuel is convinced that the Babadook is the creature he's been dreaming about. His hallucinations spiral out of control. He becomes more unpredictable and violent. Amelia, genuinely frightened by her son's behavior, is forced to medicate him. But when Amelia begins to see glimpses of a sinister presence all around her, it slowly dawns on her that the thing Samuel has been warning her about may be real. So that sums up like perfectly the beginning of the movie. Amelia has like a normal job. It's a very slow burn as you learn about her little by little and her family, and they get into the way why the kid is kind of such an asshole throughout the beginning of the movie. I will say that it was a very good performance by the kid. Yeah.
He's very good in this movie.
Yeah, and I wasn't expecting that at all, considering that all these actors are pretty much nobodies to me. You know.
They're not A-listers. They're not B-listers. They're never seen listers.
Exactly.
Dang.
They might
Coined
be
a phrase. You're welcome.
Coined a phrase. And being Jennifer Kent, I believe, written and directed by Jennifer Kent. It's her second movie because this followed another movie of hers. So it was very well directed, actually. I'm trying to remember what was Jason and Aaron's movie, the first one, not Springtime. Resolution. Halfway through the movie, that's what, if you've seen Resolution, if you haven't, it's on iTunes. Go see it. It's actually a phenomenal movie. It's very similar, is what I would say. It's a very slow burn. You're trying to just understand what the characters are going through in this movie. Yeah, very suspenseful. But I mean, in this movie, you're learning that her husband died, and they're trying to move on, but the kid is just being kind of an asshole. Even though he loves his mom, he specifically says it tons of times in the movie. He does things that she doesn't want him to do, and blah blah blah. And it's when they find this weird book, and in the description it says that it turns up in their house. It literally just, the kid wants to have a bedtime story read to him, and runs over to pick out his own book, and picks this fucking ginormous red book out, and the mom looks at it, Amelia looks at it and goes, "What the fuck is this?" Essentially, she doesn't say that to her kid, but it says Mr. Babadook on the cover, and it's this weird fucked up pop-up book, and as she's going through it, and it's explaining how who Mr. Babadook is, and what will happen to them if the Babadook gets let in. And it freaks her out to the point where she hides the book. But as the time goes on, the kid starts acting more and more weird. In fact, he was obviously afraid of the Babadook from the book, and he starts to make these weapons and whatnot in order to try and fend off the Babadook and protect his mom. And you just see this kid slowly delving into what would be like some sort of psychological trauma, because by this time he's 7 years old. His dad had died in a car crash on the night that they were taking Amelia to the hospital to have the kid. So this kid's actually never had a birthday. They don't celebrate it on his birthday because it just reminds the mom of their dead dad. And so every birthday is, this kid's kind of fucked up because of that. So he just slowly starts, telling people about the Babadook and how it's haunting their house and whatnot, how it's causing, those weird little things to happen, doors to open, glass to appear in Amelia's oatmeal, I think it was, or porridge, or whatever they were eating at the time. And you start to believe that it's more of this weird psychological thing. But then as Amelia, as the kid starts having more problems, she takes him to the doctor. Doctor prescribes some medicine to help him sleep, but he's getting in trouble at school. He's getting in trouble with friends. He pushes one of his friends out of a treehouse at one point and breaks her nose. Right? So Amelia gets to the point where she can't take it anymore, and she starts losing sleep over it. And that's when she starts seeing things, like over at her neighbor's house. She tears up the book at one point because it starts appearing in other places in the house, and she throws it away. Well, it appears the next day after that, all taped back together on the doorstep. So she immediately burns it, and I believe it appears again after that.
Nice.
She starts getting phone calls from people, from somebody that just sits there and repeats Babadook. So it's super crazy. It's super creepy, but you're thinking at this point, like, maybe she's just kind of slowly going insane herself because she's not getting any sleep. And then as she starts seeing the creature, which you never really get a good glimpse of at all in the so there's the book right there. Yeah. And so you got the whole story?
Yeah. This is the I'm showing them the Imager has a list of someone took pictures from the movie, and you see how creepy the art is, but also just how creepy everything really is in it.
Yeah, and towards the end here, so like, you know, he has such a funny face, don't you think? See him in your room at night and you won't sleep a wink. He's screaming, "Let me in," which actually comes up towards later in the movie, where it seems like at one point the Babadook actually possesses Amelia, and so she starts going after the kid and the dog, exactly how it goes through in this book.
Oh,
Strangles the dog, which was fucked up in the movie.
they actually show her strangling a dog.
It does.
I don't like this movie.
I know, right? And there's a few more pages to it. So the next one would be she's killing the kid, and the next page she slits her own throat. And what's creepy about it is it's all a pop-up book, so it has like the little interactive parts. So like the cutting her throat, it literally shows a knife going across, and then like paper blood goes pouring out of her neck. Oh my god, it's fucked up and awful. But like I said, it's a slow burn. Oh, there it goes, more. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. Keep going.
That's it. That's all.
Oh, that was it?
Yeah, they cut off the end of it.
Boo.
Spoilers, bro.
Spoilers. Sorry. Spoilers.
Yeah, because an
You
image.
know, by the way,
spoilers.
spoiler alert for this. This late, yeah.
They've never.
Fuck them. Should have been here last week. They didn't know the rules.
Right? Because we spoiled for half an hour this shit. So yeah, so it's really actually a cool, just really slow burn movie. The ending still leaves me going, what the fuck was going on the whole entire time? Because they do end up battling the Babadook. Kind of. It basically gets to the point where she vomits it up because the kid is, you know, loves her and won't leave her alone, and she realizes the love is what kind of drives it away and weakens it. And she vomits it up, has one last confrontation with it in her bedroom. She tells it that, you know, to go away, and it like flies downstairs into the basement, and it's afraid of her essentially. But that was the weird thing, is it suddenly has a happy ending. You know, they're celebrating the kid's birthday, and she's fine, the kid's fine, and everything. But they're picking worms in the backyard, and this is what I didn't get about the movie. Is that they're picking worms in the backyard, and she's like, well, okay, well, I'm gonna go, you know, take this. And the kid's like, well, can I see it? She's like, you're not old enough yet. And unlocks the basement door, goes downstairs, and is standing there. And you can tell she's a little bit scared, but not quite. So she puts the bowl down. She's looking around, and suddenly it seems like you're looking at it from the monster's view, that it lunges out at her, but then stops. And she's just like, shh, it's okay. It's okay. And that was the end of the movie. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, do they have like a pet monster now in the basement? I mean, yeah, okay.
Fucked up, right?
Besides, besides the book and a little bit of towards the middle of the movie where you start to see the Babadook, you don't actually know what this thing looks like. You know, the mask, the thing that they show is like a mask, because in the book they specifically say, what's underneath my cloak will make you die, essentially. So whatever they are looking at, yeah.
Killer dick. Killer dick.
Killer dick. Yeah. But no, it was actually a really good slow burn movie. Like I said, really well directed, really, really well acted. There's nothing bad I could really think about it, except for the ending, just because I wanted to know what the fuck this creature was. There was just no backstory about the creature. Like, was this based off of some myth in the movie or whatnot? I don't know. It was literally just a fucking book that appears. It wasn't like, if I recall right, it wasn't even like they moved to a different house.
Yeah, stayed put.
Yeah, because this is the house that they've been living in.
Like, fuck you, monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could stay here, but you have to stay in the basement.
And eat worms.
You eat worms, and that's all you get is worms.
Some bitch.
Yeah. So I would say it's definitely a movie to watch if you're into the slow burn, scary type movies, like I am. Like I said, that's why I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Boom.
Nope.
The Babadook. Brought to you by Joseph. Boom.
Good job, Yosef.
Good job, Joe. Proud of you for watching the scary movie.
I watch scary movies
I
all
know.
the time.
Mike's the pussy.
I literally will spend the whole day watching ghost shows.
Yeah,
Those
those
shows
dumb.
are awful.
No,
Yeah.
they're to be fair, they are awful. I do not watch them. I do not watch them for like, I believe in this shit or anything like that.
You like
I
to see
literally
grown
watch
men
it
piss themselves?
because in some cases it's a good story. Like Cody would sit there and probably watch, true life murder, psycho shit because he loves that stuff.
What's that supposed to mean?
You do love that
'Cause
stuff.
I do love it, yeah.
I watch Alaska shows.
Oh, you're one of them.
Anything that has Alaska in the title.
Did you see that Jewel?
watch that shit.
Jewel, your favorite singer, was going to Alaska. People.
I didn't watch that show.
She's from Alaska, so.
She is from Alaska.
Them people fucking crazy.
Yeah, they are. My parents watch those things. That's why I know about it.
Not the gold digging ones. Fuck
No,
those
it's not the
ones.
gold digging one.
Those
It's,
ones, that show sucks.
Alaskan loggers and Alaskan truckers and
Yeah.
Alaskan
I don't like the
crabbers
truckers either. I like the ones where
Ice
they're
road
like
truckers.
I think it's called like the Last Frontierman or something like that. It's like literally just following people around trying to like somehow survive a stupid fucking don't live there area, and
Yeah.
they're trying to tough it out anyway.
Okay.
those are the guys that.
It's like you guys are like 4-hour drive from Anchorage. Just move to Anchorage.
Anchorage,
That
yeah.
shit. They got stores and movie theaters
And
there.
it's still cold.
Yeah,
They got a
Yeah.
Best Buy.
You're still, you can hike for 20 minutes and you can feel like you're in the wilderness.
You
and
can get
you're
murdered by
bears and shit like that. But then you can live in a fucking nice place with insulation and central heating.
right?
Come on, Alaska people, be better.
Not have to build your own house. Fuck that.
Or
Oh,
not
that's
building
what they
just
do, too. It's
shit
so
in a
weird.
Trench.
I
I
know.
watched this one where they had to like their old fireplace sucked and it was like in a dumb spot of the house. It only kept like one corner of the house cold or warm. So they had to, it's a 3-story house, that install this new fireplace in the middle of the fucking house, cut holes in each level of the floor to run a chimney up through it. I was like, that's too much fucking work to live in a place.
Right?
Don't live there.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those people are dumb because they live in Alaska.
But I watch that shit though.
Do ya?
Yeah.
Do ya?
Yeah.
All right. Moving forward,
Cody.
since Mike didn't watch one
Cody.
because he sucks at life,
What you watch, bro?
I watched The Witch.
Oh, I almost watched that.
It is fucking terrifying.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
It is fucking terrifying.
I'm gonna look it up.
The description was pretty gnarly, and that's why I was like, I'm gonna go with the Babadook.
So basically, it is a historical period supernatural horror. Around this, basically, the film follows a Puritan family encountering forces of evil in the woods beyond their New England farm.
Yep.
Pretty basic, right?
Mhm.
You would think that until the baby's abducted, chopped in little bits, and then rubbed all over the naked body of this disgusting witch.
And that's where, in the description that I read, I went, no, I don't feel like watching something like that.
Yeah, it was wow.
That's relatively new, huh?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
from 2015. Yeah, it's speaking of children actors, all of them were excellent in this. Which is
So far, it's
yeah, like
unheard of to have these-
they're all English, so it kind of makes sense that they're good actors because English people are good actors.
Yeah.
And American children are awful. But the whole thing about this, so break it down for you. This family, break it down. So basically, this family who runs this plantation, as they used to call them, this little society they have of Puritans. Their religious beliefs are against everybody else's, so they're basically asked to change or leave. They decide to leave. So this dude and his family, his wife, their oldest daughter, their older son, and their fraternal twins, decide to pack up all their shit. Mostly the husband does, and they move out way away from this town to the woods, and decide to make a farm there. Everything's going great except for the fact they can't get crops to grow very well. The mom shits out another little baby. One day,
I don't think that's how it happened.
yeah, it happens.
Okay.
One day, she's breastfeeding the baby. She calls the daughter over, the oldest daughter, and says, "Hey, I got to get cooking, so why don't you take Samuel and you go just hang out, just like whatever." So she's playing peekaboo with this kid on the edge of the property of
By
their
the way,
farm.
just note, I'm never going to name a kid Samuel because this kid's name was Samuel. That kid's name was Samuel.
Yeah, it's bad news.
Yeah, no.
So she's got Samuel down on this blanket on the edge of their farm, facing the woods, and there's no music going on at this point. All it is, she's playing peekaboo with the baby, and he's and then she covers her eyes and blah. She covers her eyes, blah, and she does it like a third or fourth time, and she opens up, and she's like, "What?" And the baby's gone. And as she looks up, you see the brush in the woods move, and so she runs in after her, and you're like, "What the fuck is going on?" And you see this like cloaked figure moving, and then like you see her trying, and like just disappears. You're like, "Well, that's fucked up." So then you think it's gonna go back to the house, and like she's gonna have to explain this to her parents, like, "Yo, like something took this kid."
Mm-hmm.
Nah, fam. Guess what? We jump inside this creepy fucking cottage. And there's this disgustingly naked witch with grossness everywhere, and she's like rubbing on the baby and all this stuff. And I was like, all right, what's she gonna do? Like possess this kid or like whatever, right? Nah, this bitch grabs a knife. And I was like, oh, what? And she like grabs like the wiener. And I was like, what the fuck? And you see her, and then it cuts away, and then it's like the music starts kicking in, and it's to this like weird beat. And as you hear, as the audio, the movie comes in, she's mashing the baby up in this fucking pestle and mortar to the music, and then like dips her hand in and starts wiping baby chunks all over her. I was like, well, fuck you. Holy shit. Like, wow. Like, it's not like from a distance. Nah, it's like right up on her shoulder, and she's just like, burning up baby lotion. Literally baby lotion. And I was like, wow. This is fucked up.
Gives a different meaning to the term baby lotion.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe real babies. 100% pure tin baby. Yeah. So that was fucked up. So then it goes on, and I should say, it's shot in a very weird way. Like they have this really long shots that you think are going to have like moments of scariness to them. The music starts to swell up, and then just down, and then cuts to the scene, and goes to the next one, and they're like, oh shit. And like they do that. Like he does that a lot. So it goes on. So basically, it cuts back to the house, and you would think again it's gonna be the confrontation between like the parents and this older daughter, right? Nope, it's not how it rolls. You jump to the older son, who's the second oldest. He's waking up, trying not to wake up his twin siblings and his sister. And this is where the really creepiness starts to come in. I don't realize wearing like baby lotion made of 100% Puritan baby is gross. But the creepiness comes from the fact that as he's getting ready and he's walking over in his sister's house, he's having a nightmare of some sort. He's gazing at her like chest through her shirt. Like longingly. Like not like, oh, she's like get like
one day these will be mine.
Yeah, like I was like, well, this is fucking weird. I mean, I guess it's if you don't want to bang your mom, your little sister's too young. I guess your older sister's the next best thing. Whatever. So he goes downstairs and is trying to be quiet, and his mom's just crying in bed.
Mm-hmm.
And so he goes out, and his dad basically makes this deal where they're gonna go out hunting.
So the kid at this point, they still don't know
what happened to the baby.
But they don't. It's not like they told the whole family the baby's missing.
No. Everyone knows.
Everyone knows. Okay.
Yep. Mom, mainly because the mom has been crying for a week
Okay.
and praying. That's all she's been doing.
Okay.
So the son says, "Why don't we go looking for Samuel?" He's like, "It's been a week. We've yet to see any trace of it. Whatever wolf or beast took it, it's gone."
This is
He's
Puritan times.
Yeah.
It's like it's dead.
yeah, it's like
And
we're
that's
not going
why
to find
we have
it.
like 5 others.
Yeah, 4 others, but yeah.
4 others. Yeah.
And there's like really it's like 3.5 because like they're twins, so like they're interchangeable. So they go out hunting and they have their dog and the old timey rifle. It's super long and has like the rope that you like start on fire on one end and like it fires down. You're like this type thing.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they're going through and they're looking. They have these traps. So they go over and one trap's been it's closed, but there's nothing in it. So they reset it, and I swear to God something was gonna happen, because like the dad steps on the braces and the kid has to open it up. Right when he does it, and this is one of those like jump scare moments, but it wasn't like, oh my God, I almost like jumped out of my seat type ones. But you hear the trap is kind of open. I was like, fuck you guys, like, really, you
Yeah.
fucking pieces of shit. So then they're going about and they're talking about how his son asks him how we get the hunting stuff, and his dad says, don't say anything to your mother, but I took her father's silver cup and I sold it to, of all people, the Indians. So that's gonna make her super happy, for hunting supplies, because they know that this winter and their failing crops are not going to get them through the winter, and they don't want to give up and go back to the town. They want to survive because he wants to prove that he doesn't need the town to survive, blah, 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 right? So then they're walking along, and the dog starts growling, and they see a rabbit. This is a big rabbit. So the dad's like, hurry up, and so they get down, and they get the gun ready. He's like, gimme. He's like, he's grabbing the wrong end of the burning rope, and blah, 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 right? He goes to fire, and like right as he's looking at it, he's like, something's wrong. Like, he's like, trying to get, he's like going, the rabbit's kind of getting scared, has like that look, So he fires, and the gunpowder explodes in his face and kind of singes him, and like the rabbit gets away, and then blah blah blah. So right, they go back, and mom gets all fucking mad because they disappear without saying anything. Later that night, she overtly blames the daughter for the missing cup, because she still blames her for Samuel's disappearance.
Missing baby, missing cup. I mean,
exactly.
It's just a slippery slope.
Exactly. So shit goes down. The mom and dad have this argument when the kids are supposed to be asleep, and they're actually gonna basically take the eldest daughter, and they're gonna basically give her to a family to work as an indentured slave to make money. Okay. And also probably be a wife to somebody eventually, maybe, that sort of thing, because that's what happened back then.
Yeah.
So the dad and the son are doing their crops and stuff, and the twins are running around and they're playing with Black Phillip. Black Phillip is a goat, like an all black goat.
Okay.
And they're running around, and you realize the goat's out, and like, holy shit, like, get inside, like the goat, like this thing's gonna fucking kill you. Like this thing, like they don't like goats aren't like playable pets, you know what I mean? Like they get kind of feisty. Yeah. Especially males, fucking crazy horns and whatever, right? So that goes on, and the dad shows him, and holy shit, like, why'd you let him out? He's like, I didn't know he was out. Like the daughter, and he's like, get the kids inside. He's wrestling the fucking goat, right? He grabs him by his fucking horns, and they're wrestling. I was like, holy shit, like this guy's gonna, like, he's fighting a goat. It's fucking crazy. So he tells the son to open the gate, and he forces him in. They close it, and they yell at the daughter, and she's like, it wasn't my fault. I was busy, blah, blah, blah. Shit goes down, blah, blah, right? So then, the next morning, the son and is trying to sneak out, and the daughter sees and says, what are you doing? He's like, I'm going to go hunting. He's like, well, I'm going to tell mom and dad unless you let me go with you. Okay. So they take their only horse, their only dog, their rifle, and they go out in the woods. So they're headed to the traps again. Well, this time the traps have stuff in them.
Which are?
Little rodents and shit.
Okay.
Basically, the traps are for getting fur because they want to eat the meat, but also use the fur for trading. Yeah. Money purposes. Because they need to buy stuff because they're not growing shit. While they're in there, the dog starts barking, like growling again. So they look, and there's the rabbit, or a rabbit. But there's a rabbit again. So the son's gonna shoot, and the horse gets all spooked. He's like, "You got like she's riding the horse." And he's like, "You have to like I have to go after this rabbit." So he starts running off. She gets bucked off the horse, hits her head, and just gone. Well, horse disappears. the kid running after the dog and the rabbit, the dog just takes off after this rabbit. He gets lost. He doesn't know where he's at. He doesn't see his sister. He doesn't see the dog. He's spinning around in circles because he's a fucking moron.
Yeah.
In these deep, dark woods. He hears the dog, so heads that direction, and then you hear the dog whimpering. And he climbs through this, like, rough it, and he sees the dog just splayed open.
Oh.
Just everywhere. Visceral. Blah. And so he calmly kind of walks away, and he sees what he thinks is a rabbit. So he goes through, like, he starts climbing through this, like, broken down trees and stuff, and he says, like, drop the rifle, and all this stuff, and he's getting cut up, and all this shit, and he's climbing through, and he finally gets through, and there's no rabbit, but in the distance he sees smoke. So he walks over, and there's this disgusting hovel of a building, moss growing on it, and he's kind of, obviously he's lost, he's scared. He's walking close, and all of a sudden the door creeps open, and you see this hand slip out, and I was like, oh, dude, you're dead. About face, buddy, you're done. Like, get out. Get out. Nope. He's getting closer, and he's just like this, and this fucking gorgeous woman comes out the door. Titties out. She's just like, lifts her skirt up a little bit, sees some leg, and he's like, whoa, like, what's up?
Like, hi.
Right? She walks over, and she kind of pushes the gun away, and she, like, grabs and kisses him. And I was like, well, this dude's about to get fucked.
Yeah.
Like, one way or the other, right? And so she backs away, and he's, like, dazed still, so she goes in for a kiss again, and all of a sudden this gnarly old lady hand grabs him by the head and cut into scene.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're going back to the house, and the girl is getting berated, or I'm sorry, it jumps to her waking up in the woods, and she's yelling for her brother. She hears her dad, runs to her. His dad runs over, grabs her. They go back. Now she's getting berated at the house. Why'd you go out with your brother? You lost him. This is your fault. Blah blah blah. Then they kind of have this argument. They kind of cool down a little bit. The mom is sitting there, and she's like, have you fed the goats or whatever? She says, no. She's like, I'll go do it. She says, no, it's raining. She's like, no, I need to do something to get back in your good graces. I'm going to go do this. She goes out to do this, and there's fucking Caleb, her brother, stark fucking naked in the rain, stumbling around. She grabs him, calls him. He's fucking crazy possessed. He's got scratches all over his body, speaking in tongues. They get him in there. The mom's nursing him. The dad comes in. They have this, like, talk, argument in a way. Then they're down at the underneath, like, everyone's kind of sleeping, and they hear screaming, so they all run up there, and there he's fucking babbling again. The older daughter and the twins are there, and, like, get him out of here, and, like, they're going, and all of a sudden he just fucking goes into this, like, biblical rant. Like, the kid just wakes up and starts like this, and he starts to cough, like, he's, like, coughing, and then all of a sudden he's, like, calms down, and his mouth seals up, like, his teeth, like, just closes up, and I was like, what the fuck? And then so the dad's, like, trying to get it open. He's like, he can't breathe. It's going to open. And he pulls out his knife. I was like, what the fuck is this guy going to do? So no, he flips it around to the handle, jams the handle in his mouth, and, like, pries it open. And when he does that, he starts coughing like something, and he barfs up a fucking apple. And it's, like, rotted, and then he just passes out. And they're like, what the fuck? And then, like, so they're sitting there, and the twins start blaming the older sister for being a witch, and she did this to Caleb, and she's like, no, and the mom's, like, going in for it. It's like, oh, you're a fucking witch, and the dad's like, prove me you're not a witch, or you love God, and, like, all this stuff, and then all of a sudden, Caleb lifts up and starts, in perfect fucking English then, just Bible verses. It's fucking terrifying.
All right.
And then gasps, falls down, dies.
Okay.
And the mom loses her fucking mind. So she's about to attack the daughter, you can tell. And then they're gonna go pray, and the fucking two twins have a seizure, and, like, they can't pray, and they fall down, like, into a coma. So shit's just out, like, it's just done, right?
Yeah.
So scene goes the next one. The twins are laying on their parents' bed, comatose. The dead body of the son is laid out, and the mom's cleaning it. She's beside herself. The fucking daughter's sitting there all distraught. And her mom's like, you get away from me. Like, she tries to come help her mom. And she's gonna attack her again. The dad's like, stop this. We have to figure this out. And she's like, the twins were lying. They made this up. And he's like, bullshit. Like, bullshit. Like, they're in a coma. Like, they look at him. And so she says, no, they're faking it. So he grabs one and he picks it up and he starts shaking. And they come out of it. And they're like, and he's like, God damn it, all of you. So he then goes and he like throws him in the little barn thing with the goats and nails the door shut so they can't come out as like a punishment, right? He's like, stay in there, with the twins, blah, 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 right? So then they get in there and their twins are scared of her and she doesn't want to do anything with them, blah, 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 right? So they go to sleep, right? As much as you possibly could in the fucking barn in the middle of this fucking woods, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden you hear a noise. And like she wakes up and she's looking around and it sounds like something lands on the roof.
Okay.
Like a very large bird or something. And the twins are up. And all of a sudden you hear like a ruckus and they're like, and like she's got like a lamp. She kind of moves over, and there's the naked fucking witch, just chewing on the fucking goat, on one of the goats, and they're like freaking out. And the father the father comes running like doesn't really hear anything. Oh, I'm sorry, no, they freak out. Whatever, you hear this like noise, and then it cuts. The dad wakes up and he's all blah blah, steps over his wife. Walks out into the morning, scratching his belly, looks over, and the front of the fucking barn is just exploded out. And the daughter's laying there all fucking passed out. And you're like, what the fuck? There's a skinned goat. There's what looks to be body parts around. You're like, he's stumbling over, and he's like, all of a sudden, boom, he gets hit by the fucking billy goat right into his gut. Oh. Just horns right in. And the goat just rips out and he's jumping around and the dad falls back and he's like blood spilling out of his mouth. He's like, and he looks over and he sees his axe and he grabs the axe and he goes to stand up and he's like can't stand up and blood's just running out of his mouth and he goes to like re-grip the handle and the axe like falls down in his hand and the billy goes charging and hits him right in the fucking gut again, right into the giant pile of wood, and it falls on him dead. Just falls. Just dead. I was like,
jeez,
what the fuck is going on? So then the mom comes out. She's fucking super crazy. Because the part I skipped over to tell you this part, because that part's fucked up enough. The night before, she had a dream.
Mm-hmm.
And in this dream, Caleb and Samuel are alive and in the house. And she's like, "Oh my God, my babies are alive." And he's like, "I can't get." Caleb's like, "Can't get Samuel to be quiet." She's hungry, so she picks him up and she starts breastfeeding him. Cuts away from the dream, and there she is in the real world, and a fucking crow's just picking at her tit.
Oh, gross.
Yeah. I was like, holy shit. So the dad dies. She stumbles out and is in her robe, hair's undone, she's unkept like a disgusting woman with blood on one titty just like through her clothes. Right? And the daughter's like, what the fuck? And the mom's like, this is your fault, and just attacks her.
Wow.
And so they're fighting, and the daughter's trying to fight her, and she's getting good on it, and she looks over and she sees the sickle they use for the corn. Mm-hmm. She grabs it and slashes at her and cuts her mom in the face, and her mom starts bleeding, then starts choking her daughter, and blood's just spilling onto her daughter's face, and she doesn't know what to do, so she repeatedly starts hitting her with the fucking sickle.
Jesus.
Over and over. And I was like, holy shit, dude, what the fuck? And so the mom just then collapses down on her, and the daughter's like freaking out. She's splattered blood.
Mm-hmm.
She pushes her mom off, and the mom's just blood fucking everywhere, head's covered in blood, and she's like, "What the hell am I gonna do?" Like she's like, she looks over and sees her dad fucking dead in the pile of wood, just blood everywhere. It's fuss blood,
Yeah.
So she looks over and she sees the barn, and she sees Black Phillip. She goes over and she walks up and she says, "Fine, speak to me like you do the twins. I don't believe this. I need to know what's going on."
The fuck?
And I was like, well, this is going to be a weird ending, right?
Yeah.
So she starts to walk away. You hear a male voice. And he's like, do you want to live the life you've always wanted? And she's like, yes. He's like, do you want to travel the world? Or do you want to see the world? She's like, I do. He's like, but what do you, she's like, what do you want? He's like, you just have to listen to what I say. And all of a sudden, this dude walks into frame, like clothed, and he puts his hand on her. He's like, you have to sign the book. And he looks. He's like, there's a book in front of you. She looks down. There's this fucking gnarly book. And she's like, I don't know how to write my name. He's like, I'll help you with your hand. Like, I'll help you work it with your hand. So he signs it, and then all of a sudden, you see her walking to the woods, stark fucking naked, and there's fucking the goat just running behind, like leading her into the woods. She walks in the woods, and you hear this, like, just scared the shit out of me because you hear all these voices, and you're like, the fuck's happening? And you see her from her, like, over her shoulder, and there's, like, this fire and these naked ladies dancing around it. And he just goes up next to him, and they're just chanting away, and she walks up. And I was like, well, that's fucking it. Nope. All of a sudden, the fire kind of roars up, and the ladies start flying. And then she starts to fly up, too. And then camera, like, basically pans out, and there she's flying in the air like this, cackling. End of movie. I was like, fuck you guys.
Right?
So I watched it again.
Yeah.
Jesus
right.
Christ. I was like, the whole baby thing, though, that got me. And
Yeah.
the jump scare was with the billy goat hit her dad. Because, like, you weren't ready for it at all. Like, because you saw, like, dead body parts. And I was like, holy shit. And then, nope, dude, out of frame. Bah! Right in there. And you hear right into him, and he's like, pulls out. I was like, I'm done.
But at least it's a jump scare that actually earned it. The jump scares that I try and stay away from in these movies are the ones that don't earn it. They're just there to scare you, and that's it.
Yeah. No, these were legitimate.
The Babadook didn't have any jump scares, which is really weird because it had a lot of scenes where
You're
you're like something's gonna happen.
I feel like that's like
you're in the dark, you're staring at a closet, and you're like, okay, and something's gonna like suddenly just blah out at you, and it doesn't happen. And I'm like, oh my God.
learn a lot about the filmmaker just from after he makes a scary movie, whether or not they go for cheap jump scares or not.
Yeah.
So I feel like a good filmmaker will maybe throw one cheap jump scare in there just to get you fucking on edge a little bit, just like early on in a movie to try to get you ready for it, so you're drawn in a little bit more. But they don't overuse it. I hate those movies where it feels like it's just quiet and then it gets unnecessarily loud for a second. And you're
exactly,
like,
and that's the cheap.
Yeah,
jump
like
scares.
it's a jump scare, but you're like, I don't fucking earn that. Like, come on, like.
And this has a lot of those moments where the music swells up and you're looking around the scene for shit, and there's like done. You're like, fuck you guys. And then when the shit happens, there's no music. You're like, man, no precursor. I wasn't bracing myself for nothing.
But the Babadook had a lot of scenes that I know I glossed over where if you had like one of those armoire type closets, you wouldn't own one after this.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's a lot of like, she's in her room and it's dark and the closet door's open and you're just staring into the darkness, and like at one instance there's like a scratching at the door, or in fact it's said in the Babadook book that he always knocks 3 times. So everything in this movie keeps happening 3 times. Any noise or anything, you'd hear a scratch and it'd be like 3 scratches. You'd hear a knock on the front door or the doorbell ring. It's 3 rings or 3 knocks, and you're just like, oh my God. But there's one scene in particular where it's in the book. If you should have seen it, where he like is peeking around the door. Oh my God, that's fucking creepy. And then when it actually happens in the movie, it's even worse because they build it up like there's 3 knocks on something outside her bedroom door, and so she gets up and she walks over, really uneasy like, and goes and opens up the door, and she's just so relieved that it's her dog on the other side that just wants in to sleep in her bed, whatever. So she closes the door, goes back in the bed, and suddenly exact same noise 3 times, and she's like, what the hell? And suddenly the door just slowly opens, and you're like, okay, that's fucking creepy. And from the standpoint of like every other supernatural movie that I've ever really seen, usually that's the end of it.
Yep. Lightning crash and nothing's there.
Yeah.
Turn the light, nothing's there.
Nothing's there. But nope, not here, because just like the book predicted, you suddenly see a hand come out, and you're like, oh,
And it's like black and
don't
like,
do that.
like shadowy black and creepy.
Yeah, but it's got the long fingernails on it, and you're like, oh, don't do that. And then suddenly you see the head just kind of poke out, and you're like, oh.
Because that hat and
Because the hat and everything, then it suddenly, like, whooshes into the room. It's not like a scare right there, but it's really fucking scary and creepy because she's staring at this thing as it's crawling on the wall, crawling on the ceiling, and then it does this weird, like, turnaround, and that's when it jumps into her, and you start to think that she becomes possessed after that part. It's really the scariest part of the whole movie, that scene. But yeah, fucking creepy.
I didn't watch a scary movie, guys.
we know you did not do your homework yet again.
You can watch Sunshine. Sunshine is an amazing.
I know I gotta watch it. I'm totally gonna watch it this week for sure.
Yeah, totally gonna watch it.
Totally.
I'm
gonna watch
as long as there's no Mad About You to watch.
I'll up the. Well, I got a shit ton of that. It's like
Yeah,
165 episodes.
There are
It says so right on the DVD cover.
DVD.
all
I
on
know.
one DVD.
It's because they don't fucking have it on iTunes. Like, there's like season 3 is on iTunes or some dumb shit like that.
Really?
Yeah.
They do that? I hate when they do that shit.
But I will guarantee that I will watch Sunshine plus another mystery scary movie
that we don't know of.
that you don't know of. So I will have my review of Sunshine next week, and I will also be able to participate in the mystery movie.
Well, okay, yeah, for the mystery movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say Sunshine's kind of a horror movie. I don't really know if it's directly classified as a horror movie.
Yeah, it's
like
horror
it's
sci-fi.
Just horror sci-fi. Okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boom. Real quick before we wrap this up, because we are almost out of time.
It's getting tight.
Yo, Power Rangers trailer.
Pretty dope.
It's not what I was expecting at all. Which,
No, and I know when I first watched it, the person that showed it to me was just like, "Are you a fan of '90s stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah." Here, watch this. So I'm sitting there watching it, and I was like, "Why are you showing me Chronicle? Like, I don't get it." Because it's exactly how it looked and how it played out towards the beginning. Three friends. This asteroid hits the Earth, or this mysterious thing hits the Earth, and they find it. And they get these superpowers from it.
You got a Chronicle vibe. I actually got a Fantastic Four vibe from it.
I got a Breakfast Club vibe from it.
Well, yeah, that part too.
Don't you
Forget about me.
And it's happening.
Don't.
But yeah, so
don't. Oh, sorry.
So once it hit its stride, and you're suddenly like, "Oh, it's fucking Power Rangers." It was actually it looked pretty good, so I'm down to see it.
Is it weird how much the Red Ranger looks like Zac Efron's like little brother?
But like, doesn't make me want to punch him.
Like there's that one scene at the end where the suit starts to like climb on him. I'm like, that dude looked just like Zac Efron. And then I was like, that's not Zac Efron though.
Oh no, that's the same guy from earlier in this trailer. No,
Yeah.
it was not Zac Efron. That was Jason.
They made the Black Power Ranger the nerd.
Yep.
So he's Billy.
Zac is now Asian.
Which makes me think, is Zac gonna dance while he kung fu fights
Wow.
motherfuckers?
Wow.
No, that's what he did in the show.
Is that actually what
Because
it is?
he's black.
No, that's what he did in the show.
No, that's what Zac did in the show.
Yeah, because he
Billy
was the,
did not.
I know. That's what makes me wonder.
So
is
Billy?
Zac gonna dance while
maybe,
he
hopefully.
fights? Because that was the character that
You
did
see
it.
him on the roof of the train, just fucking jujitsu in and stuff.
And the other thing I really like, because this is a teaser, I feel like everything we saw was from like the first 15 minutes
Easily.
of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I
Uh,
mean? Like they
yeah,
didn't
easily.
like they didn't even show the suit fully yet.
No.
Which like that's a huge part because I don't know how I feel about the suits yet. So I want to see it in motion.
My big thing is going to be the Megazords. I mean, they didn't show shit about that stuff.
Yeah.
Didn't they though?
What?
Didn't they though?
If they did, it was like really super fast.
Rita though. Goddamn.
Slams came up against the chimney wall. I was like,
Way
that's-
more
that's nice.
violent than I was thinking.
Well, she says I've killed rangers before. I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
oh, what?
Like in the show, she just talks about killing rangers.
Yeah, no, this is she attempts to. I like the fact they're giving him
Like, you gonna have
superpowers.
Goldar in this?
What?
Remember Goldar?
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know who's all in this.
It's gonna be so.
But
I
yeah,
want to go watch some Power Rangers now.
the superpowers that they gave him Yeah,
Yeah.
super fucking awesome.
Super.
The
In
one
fact,
dude
they
goes
super
for the headbutt and
gets
just
knocks himself down.
Yeah.
Billy's like, no. Oh. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things.
Is that a good touch though to give them superpowers?
Well, yeah,
it
because
is.
I like the fact that like they're not just gonna be hapless without the suits.
Yeah.
You know, they have to be. The suits are probably just gonna protect them from, weapons and stuff like that.
It also protects their identity and.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
other than the fact that
Plus, they're I imagine that they're more Halo styled, so they're like
Combat
space suits and,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah, combat suits. They're not like in the show, which were basically just leotards and
With a
helmet.
a sweet belt.
Bill Hader's doing the voice of
Alpha 5.
Alpha 5.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right,
Bryan Cranston's the voice of Zordon.
he'll be the face of it too, right?
Well, yeah, probably. We don't know what he looks like yet, but most likely yes.
I mean, if they do the floaty face in the
They do
tube
the
thing.
floaty-
Well, if they do what
face.
they did for the movies, they have him
They
laying
tinted
down the
blue.
crystals too.
But that's when he got all fucked up.
Well,
That's
no,
when-
because before, no, in the movies, the first two movies, he was always laying down in the crystals, and the projection was coming out of the crystals.
No,
Yeah,
I think you're wrong.
No, I'm right.
No, because the only time, at least as I'm only gonna reference the first movie, the only time you saw him on the crystals was after the ooze guy fucked up their lair, and he was laying there all sick and shit.
Well, that's when they showed him, but he was that way the entire time in the movie. Son,
I don't know.
Might have to watch the movie.
I don't want to.
oh,
Neither do I actually. I mean, as much as I am interested in seeing this show, the movie come in and seeing how like more realistic and gritty and stuff that it's going to be, like the original show and movie were not
rough sauce.
We're not good.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie,
You know.
they were rough to watch for
And
sure.
they are kid shows. I definitely get that. Even into today, they still air them today.
They're
Not
still
the
running.
original.
There's
They
still stuff running. Today.
Yeah, today.
New episodes, and
But
shit.
they
They
are
Cyber
just-
not-
Tiger Diner Force. Like,
Like
just-
they're.
yeah,
I
exactly.
think that's
So
the
many.
exact one that's going right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, what?
But it's
Yeah.
it's so weird because it's such a generic show that they're on like a 5-year cycle where they just replace the characters every 4 or 5 years, so you get this new batch of kids.
Yep.
And so you get them right there in that sweet spot where they're into it for about 5 years, from ages
the Disney model.
6 to whatever. And some of them hang on a little bit longer, some of them jump on earlier, but like it's just a revolving door of new people watching it.
And then they give it some new name and
Yeah.
new costumes and
Space Police, Samurai
Yeah.
Force.
Power Rangers 5. Yeah.
You think this will lead to like a reboot of the original series
Reboot.
Maybe.
with like the original characters but try to make it still a kids movie but less, or not movie but show, but like
You
less
could bring
corny?
it back and do it kind of like you do like Arrow and Flash,
Yeah.
where it has that suit, that beyond realness to it, like that sci-fi feel, but still not be,
Not be
moving
super bright
every time they
colors
need to
and-
talk, instead of like mouths moving because there's just helmets. They're just like,
Because like
hey, I'm going to get you.
the
like-
original show, all the fight scenes were used from like the original show, right? And like
No,
overseas?
this is like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was its own original thing.
I thought I read something where
It
like
ripped off many other shows.
well,
like
yeah,
Ultraman
but
and
I
stuff.
thought like they actually used footage from like a
No, it's like a legit, like
Oh,
that was their
yeah.
thing. And all they did is have the kids voice over the stunt actors inside the
Yeah.
suits. That's why they just moved around whenever they had to talk. So
Yeah,
you know
so
which,
you know
which
which one was
ones.
talking.
Yeah.
Mm.
yeah.
I would like to see something like that though, like where they make fun of that in the movie, where like one of them's like
Why
doing
you
like
why are you
like,
doing that?
Yeah, why you moving around like that while you're talking?
How else do you know? How else does anybody
exactly.
gonna know who's talking?
Yeah. And all I really need to do is have that little weird chest thing light up and pulse or whatever when they're talking, but whatever. Or have the mouths move on the helmets, whichever one.
Nah.
And transform it up. I still have mouths. I still don't understand why they had mouths on those helmets. It looks super creepy. But yeah, a lot of other stuff to talk about.
Oh. Real quick, I just want to get your thoughts. That new Jordan Peele movie, the
Scary White People.
yeah,
It's,
what's it called? Get Out.
Yeah, something like that.
Something
I was
like
gonna say
that.
Exit only or something. Out. Yeah, Get Out.
Holy shit, dude! It looks fucked up. Like
Yeah.
disturbing as fuck, and I want to see it really bad.
Scary White People everywhere.
I think I saw it. It was a trailer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw the trailer. I don't remember.
Text it to you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come
No,
on,
I
man.
saw it. I just don't remember it much.
Yeah.
We'll talk about more about that later. But holy
Yeah.
fuck, like
We'll
go
go
look
over
it
all
up
the
if-
stuff that
yeah,
came out.
look
near
it up, find the
Comic-Con.
trailer.
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Booyah.
That's it.
That's it.
All right.
We're gonna wrap up time for the producer. So
We'll wrap it up.
yeah, comes naturally. We are.
Joe.
Mike.
I am Cody, and once again, thanks for listening. And as usual, you fuckers just came naturally. Bitches.